Last time, I had a good bitch about the terrible standards of debate on the internet. This doesn't stop me from staring into the abyss of human frustration that is the comment section, but it does commit me to arguing a bit more honestly and rigorously. It's the only thing keeping me on this high horse. So this time I'm reading over the angrier comments from the SpaceX and the ISS videos, specifically the ones that think this whole space travel thing is an elaborate reality show and make testable points that we can verify or we can debunk. Before I start, it's important I make clear where I'm coming from here. I don't agree in the slightest with anyone who thinks that space travel is staged, but I don't think anyone who disagrees with me is stupid, and that it's important to address arguments on their own merits rather than waving people off as conspiracy theorists. So just hear me out, commenters, and you might just find that I make sense. At least I hope so. First up, Neil Armstrong never gave a public interview, ever. This one took me about 5 seconds. Just type Neil Armstrong interview into YouTube, and you get like 5 different interviews with him before you even start coming across the moon hoaxer videos. And even those are just breaking down these same interviews, looking for suspicious body language out of Neil Armstrong. Maybe the commenter means that this isn't the real Neil Armstrong, who really didn't land on the moon. This one really doesn't hold up at all. Next, anyone notice the pendant on her neck always goes down? This is referring to astronaut Sunny Williams' tour of the ISS. You just need to watch the video for yourself. The chain on her neck is floating around throughout, getting in her face and generally wandering wherever it likes. I'd also like to point out that if they were faking this footage, they could easily just have had her not wearing any necklace. Would that have raised any eyebrows? Also, note the exercise machine floating free on the flexible anchors in one part. I mean, these kind of things, if you were faking it, would be unnecessary complications that I personally would expect any good film director to avoid at all costs. Again, that's not entirely definitive or anything, but it makes sense to me. Number 3, the noise from the jet engines are pretty loud. She is in an airplane made to look like an ISS, more like International Fake Station. I suppose this is implying that the zero-G is simulated by putting an aircraft into free fall. This is a practice NASA actually uses to train astronauts. It's an aircraft nicknamed the Vomit Comet. The problem with this is that your standard Vomit Comet aircraft can stay in free fall for about 25 seconds at a time. If you're going to fake a space station this way, you could, but your footage would need a lot of cuts in it. Now, if you're not one to believe official information, you might maintain that there are secret NASA planes that can do much better. So let's just do a quick back of the envelope calculation and see if this is plausible. Okay? In comparison to the 25 seconds the Vomit Comet, officially at least, can achieve, the longest continuous shot in this video is 9 minutes and 24 seconds long. Just to kind of showcase that, it's been playing in the background for the entire video, and I'm definitely going to have to maybe speed it up by like twofold just to get it all in this one video. Any object falling under gravity, such as a person, accelerates at 9.81 meters per second squared. Normally, the dragging effect of the air rushing past the person will increase as they fall faster and faster until they reach a point where gravity and drag balance out and they just stay at that speed. This is called terminal velocity. But air doesn't rush past you inside a plane. The plane is shielding you from all that. So as long as the plane keeps up with you, you'll just keep accelerating until you hit the ground or the plane pulls up. To keep a human in free fall for 9 minutes 24 seconds, you would be falling, by my back of the envelope calculations here, for 1,560 kilometers, which is much, much higher than the actual height that the ISS orbits at. As in, the real ISS is actually more plausible than the fake one. I'm sure the response to this would be that there was CGI involved or some clever form of levitation or something like that, in which case the, quote, noise from the jet engines, end quote, isn't supporting evidence anymore. And the argument is kind of baseless until you start providing some other supporting evidence, and then we've just kind of gone away from the comment entirely. Next, they can never show the shuttle connecting to the ISS because they can't, because it doesn't happen. I'm assuming all these pictures of the shuttle docked don't count, that we need actual video footage of the shuttle docking. There's footage on YouTube of it happening, but what I've noticed is that it always seems to cut to this view of the docking port. So I guess this is what Irvin is talking about here. There's footage of the shuttle doing pitch maneuvers, footage of it while docked, even footage of it undocking, But what Irvin is really looking for is footage of the shuttle coming into dock, shot from this angle. I do really need to point out, though, that if Irvin's argument is that they're unable to create fake footage of the docking of the shuttle to the space station, that the only footage they release is footage that they're able to create in a studio. But there is footage of an undocking. If they could fake an undocking, then all they need to do is play the footage of that backwards, and then they have fake docking footage. Look, even I can do it. There's a lot more testable comments for me to go through, but I'm short on time, so I'm going to leave them for the next video.